mentioned by the man with the mojo. My 8 subscriber, I'm a fagoso. Jump in them sinkies and dump them mimosos. The first Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto.
Oh, we're missing Bob.
Wait,
Bob down. Well, until Bob comes back, we'll talk for a second. So this is going to be, what's his name? Daniel McGough, who was in Judge Simpson's court today. We all held our breath as we waited for him to show up. So we all got to watch about 5 hours of court for basically no reason. I know you guys got a front row seat, literally, to court. These are our spies down here at the bottom.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask this, and it's going to be the most ridiculous question ever. Yo, did Mr. McGough smell funny?
Guess so.
I know most people that do. He's been in jail for like a month.
Ooh.
So I know he's probably got some prison funk on him. Hey, I'm trying to work the crowd.
I don't know.
Give a little bit of a background of Mr. McGough, just for people who didn't tune into the first couple of these hearings, just like what he's there for, what this is about before we get into it.
Yeah, I'm trying to do 12 things right. I'm trying to send you the 60-page lawsuit between him and Washtenaw County.
Oh.
So Mr. McGough showed up last year, I want to say.
Yeah.
And this is what turned, I forgot, it was something against a police officer. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it ended up getting made into a felony. So it got pushed off to circuit court. He never showed up to that. So a failure to appear warrant happened. And then unbeknownst to anyone, really, he's on his like second or third DUI. And he got originally picked up for harassing his baby mama. So he's a real winner, if we're just going to be honest.
And the case that he's currently in court for, what is this one for? Is it
I think it's just they're trying to hit all of them all at the same time and figure out where the hell he's going. Because I know they were talking about what he was. We'll watch the video, but he was complaining about him being at the hospital, and he's now got charges of like escaping because he was technically in custody and then just dipped out at the hospital. And he seemed very peeved about that.
His charges are, I believe there's 5 of them, these new ones from early July. It's a DUI, and then he ran in his car, fleeing and eluding. They finally get him. They took him to the hospital. He's in custody, and he tried to escape from the hospital. So he's got, an escape from custody charge. He's driving without registration and no proof of insurance. Those are the ones that we were having a hearing for today.
Well, he had 5 charges, like you said. He had flee and elude, 4th, which was a felony. He can get 2 years or $2,000 for that. Then operated unregistered. That was a misdemeanor. Operate without security is a misdemeanor. Operated while license revoked or suspended is a misdemeanor, and refused to obey a lawful traffic order by a police officer is a misdemeanor. And that's from July 3rd. Then back in March 27th of 24, he got his DWI 3rd, operated while suspended, revoked, or denied again, and escaped from lawful custody. So those are the 8 charges in the 2 cases, the 2
he's just overall having a great time.
So, real quick before we continue, Legal Fiction says, I was told there'd be milk bones and duck feet. We will do both for Legal Fiction. And I will make the dogs big so you can see them, since they're in little tiny boxes tonight. Ava and Zena actually put in a request form for duck feet earlier today on Discord, and apparently it has been approved. She put in a requisition. Plus, There's a milk bone. There's one for Xena. Thank you, Legal Fiction. I said clots. And a duck foot. These are so gross. Look at that. Here. Have a duck foot. Thank you very much, Legal Fiction.
Ryan says this guy's the white Eric Martin.
I'd say this guy is considerably worse. He's facing serious charges here.
Well, Eric Martin keeps saying that he was in prison for like 24 years. But nobody that I've had like try to research this can point exactly why he was in jail for 24 years. But I think you were in chat when I said it. There's a video on his Facebook page right now of him trying to fight his brother in the kitchen. So I have the sneaking suspicion that Eric Martin's probably going to be back in court sooner rather than later.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Sounds
the sister couldn't get him convicted, so now the brother's going to try.
Well, you know what's weird about Eric Martin is all three of them, Eric, the brother, and the sister, who we met in Shackelford's court, have never left home. I mean, they lived in that house where they were raised until their parents died, and they still live there. It's just bizarre.
Oh.
I love my mom very much. I could not handle living with her as an adult. There's no way. Love you, Mom. Yo, Mom, I love you.
Jonathan P. says, poor crippled ducks in their wheelchairs.
Yes.
Just their damn feet. Yeah. So,
by the way, if somebody Legal Fiction, shout out to Legal Fiction for the super chat. Does that mean I have to take a drink too?
hey,
nobody has to drink on every guest that comes on. I let them know you don't have to drink.
It's required.
I will not peer pressure anyone.
I'll pour one.
All right,
Yeah,
I guess
so-
I'll have one too. I wasn't gonna, but I'll have.
No.
Do I have to? First of all, do I have to read?
I mean, I was gonna kind of just scroll through this and pick and choose because unlike the last one that was like 7 pages, this one's a legit 60 pages, and I don't think anybody wants to sit around and listen to
but
all
usually
of us struggle to read 60 pages.
Usually the first section does a little summation, so maybe we can just read that part. Cheers,
So
Legal Fiction.
The first page and I think the second page tells what it's about exactly, and it's about I think it's about the felony charge and the family violence or family court case that he has going on.
So I'll read the first 2 pages and then we'll get to the video. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan.
We really did not plan this show out ahead of time, and we really had all afternoon to do so. So I'm sorry, audience. we were busy.
We're winging it.
Yeah, we're winging it tonight. This is Daniel Ryan McGough versus, how do you say this county?
Washtenaw County.
I said it correctly? Wow, I'm proud of myself. Overview of the case. This case revolves around a systematic pattern of abuse of power and rights violations perpetrated by law enforcement and judicial officials in Washtenaw County, Michigan. The plaintiff, Daniel Ryan McGough, brings this action under 42 U.S.C. 1983 to seek redress for ongoing constitutional violations stemming from 2 distinct, but I'm going to put that up there so I don't forget. I'm going to finish this paragraph at least. Distinct but deeply entwined legal matters, a felony criminal case, 2575 FH, and family court custody dispute, and some numbers. This cross-contamination of proceedings resulted in a cascading series of constitutional violations, including unlawful arrest, malicious prosecution, and deprivation of parental rights without due process. Rather than operating
for
as
a second?
yes,
Because this seems to
sent
be
this to me ahead of time, so I made sure I knew all the words.
this is just like a perfect summary of sovereign citizens. It seems as if every sovereign citizen that I know of doesn't have anything to do with their children, either by choice or because they were voluntold to not have it by the court.
Yeah.
Great example, broken system, broken trust. How you doing? You're in for it. But yeah, that just seems like how they do it. And then out of nowhere, they're like, court, me. I must turn soft sit.
Does my channel say... Oh, he's telling the audience to turn on allowed gift as memberships. Okay. Well, we have it paused. Well, we have me paused from reading. Lady Rowe, $5. Long story short, he loves to drink and drive and blame it on everyone else when he gets caught. And Parson, who I ran into in a chat that had like 2,000 people in it the other day, which was crazy. Just some other random chat. Ran into Person. I'm like, oh my gosh, Person's here. I move we forego the reading of the documents. He's like, I cannot stand Katie reading. I think is what that was. Thank you very much. Dogs appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Hey, shout
Zena
out.
actually caught that one.
Shout out to Parson. How you doing, Parson?
And we have 50 gifted memberships.
Yeah. I'm just gonna drink this now.
Yeah.
Bam. Oh, and Zena missed that one.
It's so good. Fireball's just so good.
Thank you very much for the 50 gifted memberships, Parson. If you were not a member already, you are now. And don't forget, we have game night coming up on the 23rd, I believe. Whatever that Saturday is around there. I bought a new game today. It's called Truly Terrifying Trivia. Right there. I just got it from Amazon today. So that's what we're doing for the members on game night.
Hey Katie, I just want to
Yes.
say that this document you're reading here, Simpson mentioned it, and we'll see it later on when you guys play the video. This thing is 60 pages long, so I'm assuming you're not going to read the whole thing.
Absolutely not. I'm just going to read the first, like, you know how just the beginning, it does a little overview.
Yeah.
Yeah, overview of the case. That's what we're doing. Where was I?
Do you want me to read for a hot second?
Yeah, and I think Bob maybe needs to okay, it's good now. For a second there, I was hearing myself.
Rather than operating as separate and impartial forums, this criminal and family court system functioned in a concept to deprive plaintiff of his liberty, reputation, and parental relationship, all while cloaked in the appearance of a legitimate judicial process. Plaintiff brings his action to expose and remedy these intertwined abuses, which have left him effectively barred from defending himself in either case. Plaintiff seeks equitable relief under 42 U.S.C. 1983 and this court's inherent equitable powers, I can't read that word, including declaratory relief to recognize and clarify his constitutional rights and injunctive relief to restore and protect his rights moving forward. Plaintiff seeks equitable, oh my God, I'm just going to not ever say that word again, remedy for further violations, including restoration of his parental rights, protection of the child's welfare, the
cessation of regulatory or lawful actions, I'm taking over apparently, by the defendants, the use of criminal allegations and strategic tool to control family court outcomes without regard for due process or truth, demonstrates a broader institutional failure that implicates multiple defendants involving judicial officers, prosecutors, law enforcement, and private actors who misuse state powers for personal gain. Where's my gavel? Here it is. Okay, I'm ready. For personal gain. Do we want to read paragraph 2? You do paragraph 2, I'll do paragraph 3.
Yeah, so this one's the felony case with the Washington County Circuit Court, case number 25-75-FH. On October 11, 2024, plaintiff was unlawfully arrested by officers of the Ypsilanti Police Department without a warrant, probable cause, or reasonable suspicion. This arrest was part of a broader pattern of police misconduct involving fabricated charges, post hoc, HLC, I don't know.
Yep, that's it.
Including an alleged assault on police officer and the suppression of exculpatory evidence following which led to gotta move my mouse out of the way, led to the retaliatory move by the presiding judge acting random Latin phrase there, compounding 2 additional felony charges to the case on February 11th, 2025. These actions, driven by improper motivations, have resulted in ongoing legal jeopardy for plaintiff, including an active arrest warrant as of April 10th, 2025.
The family case. I'm going to read it dramatically. Ouachita County Trial Court. Concurrently, plaintiff's family court case has been deeply affected by the unconstitutional actions. Patrick Joseph Collins' decision to suspend plaintiff's parental rights was directly influenced by flawed felony charges he oversees as chief judge of Ouachita County. Plaintiff was not afforded the opportunity to challenge or address the fabricated evidence in the family court proceedings before Colin. Am I saying his last name right?
Conlin.
Oh, there's an N there. There is an N there. I see it now. Conlin conspired with other defendants to deprive plaintiffs access to his child. The McCloskey family, private individuals with a vested interest in the custody dispute, knowingly submitted false emergency reports to law enforcement and the judiciary in a deliberate effort to trigger the state action and undermine the plaintiff's parental rights without due process. These actions, coupled with the misconduct by both law enforcement and judiciary, have resulted in the unlawful indifference with plaintiff's relationship with his child, causing ongoing harm to his familial and parental rights. I figured out the word I can't say. It's judiciary.
Right.
We're not going through all 60 pages. Let's get to the video. You guys get the idea, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we can continue if you want. This is your show, KFARR.
No, we can get to the video. I don't think he understands this. They do not care. Like, there's no one cares enough to come up with this giant conspiracy to fuck this random guy.
This is a lawsuit. McGough is actually suing Judge Simpson and the prosecutor, and according to Simpson, and we'll see it in the video, just a slew of other people. I was just going to mention, I'm looking at his felony case, and he's being held without bond. So even if Simpson was to give him a PR bond here, he's not going anywhere. He's got a final pretrial on his felony for assaulting the police officers on December 4th, and he has a jury trial on January 5th. So he's going to be in custody for another 6 months.
Long time. Yeah. So KTZed, you might not be as familiar with this as everyone else when I bring up the name Kim Blandino, but Kim Blandino tried to do this.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Oh yeah.
Where he tried to file a complaint with whoever is in charge of that court, and he was just trying to mom and pop every judge where, oh, you're not going to let me get away with fuck shit. I'm going to file a complaint on you so that I get a different judge. And he just did that to the point where they're like, yeah, we're going to appoint this judge that's not even really a judge here, and that's who you're going to get fucked.
Yeah, Law Talk with Mike covered him pretty well a couple years ago.
Kim Blandino, claim to fame here, he actually commented on one of my videos of him.
Really?
And I'm just like, oh, I'm fancy. Okay.
KFARR, I could give a really quick update on starting from when McGough came on our radar to this point. I could probably do it in a couple minutes because you may have some people in chat that don't.
Absolutely.
So it started in February. The police, Ypsilanti police, were called to, I believe it was a park, about a fight. 3 officers showed up, a sergeant and 2 officers. And when they got there, they found 2 individuals that did not fit the description of the fight. One was leaning up against the car, the front wheel on the passenger side, and he was slumped over. And McGough, who was standing there. So the officers didn't see anything about a fight, but they were very concerned about the guy who was slumped over. They were concerned about his health. So they went to investigate to see if he needed medical help. And McGough sticks his nose in where it doesn't belong. and they told him numerous times to step back. He wouldn't, so they detained him. While they're detaining him, he assaults the officers. So the officers give him a break. They didn't charge him with assault. They just charged him with simple obstructing and resisting, a misdemeanor. Now he comes in front of Judge Simpson, and he's acting as his own attorney, and he calls prosecution witnesses, the officers, in his defense, and he just gets buried. And so Simpson comes back and says, well, instead of, this misdemeanor charge, now I'm binding you over to circuit court on 3 felonies. Nice job there, McGough. So before he comes up for his arraignment in front of Judge Slay, he gets other charges. They're domestic violence and domestic violence with using a electronic device. Those are the 2 charges I know the least about. But he gets picked up. He's arraigned on those in front of, what was her name? It's a magistrate, Braley. We've seen her before. So he gets arraigned on those. Then he gets arraigned on his new felony charges in front of Judge Slay, which she allowed him to appear via Zoom. And then she sets a pretrial. And I actually attended that pretrial, and McGough doesn't show up, so she issues a bench warrant. So this is about April at this point. So he disappears for about 3 months, and then in early July, early last month, he gets picked up on these charges that we're about to watch in this video. So he is he's a piece of work, I'll tell you.
So, of course, in this video, we see in the front row are on the ground reporters, a whole front row of all of them. Right here.
Yeah, that's me sitting there in the blue shirt looking stupid.
You guys picked the greatest spot to sit.
Perfect spot to sit, guys. And this guy in the black shirt and blue tie looks familiar. Where do I know him from?
Yeah,
I didn't see Colin at first.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was like a taller guy standing right there, and I'm like, I don't see Colin. And then he ducked, and I was like, oh, there he is in the tie. Okay.
So the reason we talked before we got into court, and I said, I have severe hearing loss in my left ear, and Colin has total loss in his right ear. So I said, you got to sit to my right, and I have to sit to your left. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many things I said to Colin, and he didn't hear me. I just
didn't hear you at all. Yeah.
Attention to the trial, I was like, and he just couldn't hear me.
The guy on the far right is Brutal Bob, who's in the chat or in the panel too.
Yes.
Former police officer.
All right. So this. Yeah, you're apparently the closest one, and you didn't show up. I get it. Should we start, and then I'll just, if you guys have something to say, I just start talking and I'll pause it.
Yeah, that should be good.
Okay. By the way, this is as loud as it goes. So sorry, this is just how it is.
The case of the people versus Daniel McGough. State your name. Daniel McGough. All right. What are we doing on this today? Your Honor, I have in regards to case number 25F4.
Yeah, look at that haircut.
Yeah, when I was watching it this afternoon, I was thinking, does he have a mullet? Did he give himself a mullet while he has been in jail?
I can
Was
tell
it
you,
long in the back?
it looked like a mini muskrat was just planted on his head. I don't know, somebody pulled a joke on him in jail and said, "I'll cut your hair for you."
Yeah, just so you guys know, so when I got this video, I jacked the video up to 200%.
And I'm playing it through Restream at 150%. So this is as good as it gets.
So we're out here trying our best, guys.
You really are.
couple things I'd like to point out about a couple of the matters here today.
Go ahead.
In regards to count 3, MCL 750197, lawfully detained or imprisoned in jail or confinement. Judging by the definition of the statute itself, Your Honor, it compels us to conclude that one has to be lawfully imprisoned or in jail. Jail being a facility operated by a local unit of government for detention of persons charged. At this location, defendant was located in a hospital and not a confinement by government agency or jail.
Okay, so I had a question about this part this afternoon. When he's saying he was in the hospital, was he like in jail and they took him to the hospital to get something treated and it happened to be the same day?
Yeah, they didn't give a lot of details about that, but I believe what happened was once they got him under arrest, maybe they tased him or something, I don't know, but they took him to the hospital for evaluation and he tried to leave the hospital.
Gotcha.
When he was in custody. So that's where he got trying to escape
like
custody charge.
all of the body cams that KFARR and I watch on this show where they feign some injury or seizure or something like that and want to go to the hospital instead of going to jail.
Right.
In their heads, they think they're going to do what Mr. McGough did and just walk out of the hospital. And that's not how it works. Once you're in custody, it doesn't matter where you're located, whether it's in the back of the car, in a jail cell, or at the hospital, you're still in custody.
But apparently he tried, probably pulled the IV out and tried to go down the hallway. And
Jonathan P., we don't kink shame, but we do haircut shame. We do haircut shame.
According to him, and I think he'll say in a little bit, the cops just dropped them off at the hospital.
Yeah, that's what McGough said. Yep.
I doubt that.
I do too.
He just gave a ride.
I've never heard that.
It was probably something like the officers were there with him and they were like, hey, you're here, stay here.
We're going to go flirt with the nurses.
Yeah, something like that. And he tried to dip out the back door or something.
There's a hot nurse up there at the nurses station I'm going to go talk to. So
she's way more interesting than you and your sovereign citizen nonsense. I'm going to go wait up there.
Yeah, or the donut truck. Truck,
exactly.
It was out front.
Something.
So I'm requesting that charge is invalid on its face.
To be addressed. That would be addressed at the preliminary examination. So, as to the sufficiency of the charge. So, if you're making a motion that I dismiss it,
what's kind of funny? Mr. McGough and Judge Simpson have exact opposite haircuts. Judge Simpson has hair around here, and McGough has hair here. Yeah, just opposite. Super chat from News Now Enemy, $2. This is from Homer. Treat them dogs. I will treat them dogs. There's dogs. We will treat them. Look at how sad Ava's looking. She doesn't know the camera's not on here, and she's been staring into your souls this whole time. But you guys just didn't know it.
What a sweetie.
There you go. Thank you very much, News Now Enemy, for the $2. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody who supports the show. And even if you can't support monetarily and just hit that like button, I appreciate that just as much.
Erica, you haven't told me to hit the like button yet. She always reminds me. Because I always forget.
Okay. Further in count 2 and count 1, actually, Your Honor. Both of these were, I don't know the procedural process or when it should get raised, but both of them are Fourth Amendment violations. And furthermore, on count 2, MCL 257.904, that the license of the defendant was revoked or suspended, given the statute as well, Your Honor. that would require the prosecutor to prove that the license was revoked or suspended at the time of the arrest, and that defendant was notified, and that the defendant operated a vehicle on a highway or roadway. I challenged the prosecutor to prove all three.
Sir, do
Yes,
you
sir.
wish to have a preliminary examination in this?
I'm making sure we're prepared for it, but yes.
What'd you say?
Making sure we're prepared for it, but yes, I am. What are the other options? I'm requesting that all the charges are dismissed, a motion for all dismissal on all these charges.
I'm
Not
half a
gonna be
person in this shot.
No, okay.
So if you want a preliminary.
Say again?
I was just saying, I'm half a person there. I'm
Oh,
part of the
and they split you in two.
Yeah.
Does anybody
So-
know what's on the judge's mug? Because I was looking at that too, and then
It's
Waffle asked me that.
Maryland. It's a Maryland thing. Isn't that where he went to college?
Oh, University of Maryland.
Yeah.
Tarpon.
Yeah, it should be
Oh,
like
gotcha.
a weird turtle on one side.
Yeah.
Just curious.
Examination and make your arguments, then it might be that they would be dismissed at that point, but they're not going to be dismissed on an oral motion.
Let me know that all paper discovery has been sent to Mr. McGough in jail. There are USB drives with video. A number of agencies were involved in the Michigan State Police case to respond to assist. I believe she has obtained all of those videos, and those will be sent interdepartmental to jail staff to serve on Mr. McGough, and I expect those to be in the interdepartmental mail tomorrow.
Got it. Okay, so we're not ready. He hasn't gotten the
He
videos.
has all paper discovery, but he does not have all video discovery. I expect that'll happen.
So, Mr. McGough, are you going to have an objection to an adjournment so that you can see all of the discovery that they have prior to setting this for preliminary examination?
Your Honor, I didn't know what hearing I was prepared for today. I was preparing to cross-examine the officers today, with or without the video evidence.
Imagine having so many pending court cases that you don't know why they're bringing you from your jail cell to the courthouse. He's like, I didn't know what we were doing today. I didn't know which hearing it was.
I don't want to shame criminals, but like, what kind of life is that to live?
I
Where
would
like you don't know
shame
what's
them.
going on because you've got so many pending cases. You're just like, yeah, I'll show up and figure it out when I get there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was going through my mind as he walked into the courtroom. I just thought, dude, how do you live your life like this? Charge after charge, sitting and rotting in jail. He's a young man. What the hell is he doing? Unbelievable.
Does somebody have an ice cream truck going by? Because I would like to put in my order for a
It's me. I gotta go.
Given that that's not the case and the officers are not here, I would like a speedy trial. I would like to invoke my right to a
All right.
speedy
So
trial.
you want your preliminary examination. Those are coming down to the jail to him.
I expected you would have them early next week, so if the court follows its normal setting for preliminary examination, I would expect.
I would set it for the 19th, and then he'd have them well in advance, and I guess I'll do it that way. Prior to setting the preliminary examination, it's being a critical process, a couple of things that the court wants to do. Mr. McGough, starting in case ending in 0979. Mr. McGough, you are before the court on a felony complaint that alleges 5 different counts, excuse me, fleeing and eluding 4th degree, which is a felony punishable by up to 2 incarceration, $2,000 fine plus court costs. Count 2 is operating an unregistered vehicle, which is a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days. Operating without security, which is a misdemeanor, punishable with not more than 1 year or less than a $200 nor more than $500 fine plus court costs. Count 4, operating while license suspended, denied, and/or revoked. That is a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 93 days. $500 fine plus court costs, and your vehicle would be subject to mobilization.
We're going to get a copyright strike for the ice cream music. Is he just parked in front
I
of
was
your
about to
house?
say he's waiting for you to come outside.
I'm gonna mute.
Sorry, I just kept going and going.
So at first, because I know there was an ice cream truck here earlier, I'm like, did I record this with my mic on and it just picked up the ice cream truck? But then you said it was that, and I'm like, okay, I'm glad it's not me.
Everybody on the panel gets ice cream from Waffle Salter.
Oh boy.
Thank you, sir.
Now, if
And I will have a drink to that.
if I do a $20 super chat, I'm not drinking. Okay, I'm just going to point that out right now. I'll drink on
I mean, if you're buying a round, you usually buy one for yourself as well. Again. Thank you, Waffle Salter. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, I forgot this part. Here you go. Here you go. Dog biscuits for everybody. And I'm still able to press the buttons. Very good, Katie.
Is refusal to obey a lawful traffic order of a police officer. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days, $100 fine plus court costs. Those events are alleged to have occurred on July 3rd, 2025, I-94 near Parker Road in Scioto Township. That is on the one case. On the other case, which is a 3-count complaint, that 3-count complaint alleges that on March 27, 2024, location of Dexter near Arcona in the city of Milan, Washtenaw County, state of Michigan, that you did operate a motor vehicle while intoxicated. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days, $500 fine plus court costs. There is, however, a third offense notice which transforms this into a felony charge, punishable by up to $500 to $5,000 fine plus court costs, 1 to 5 years in jail, probation with 30 days or 1 year in jail, or at least 48 hours to be served consecutively, and 60 to 180 days community service, any rehabilitative programs the court deems necessary. Court could order you to pay the cost of the prosecution, as well as the cost of any emergency governmental services, and your vehicle would be subject to mobilization. Count 2 is operating while your driver's license was suspended, denied, and or revoked. That's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 93 days in jail, $500 fine plus court costs. Count 3 is lawful escape from custody, or escape from lawful custody, excuse me. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year, $1,000 fine plus court costs. Mr. McGough, yeah, I would just ask, do you still wish on representing yourself, sir?
Your Honor, I do, I will. I have requested assistance given that I am incarcerated and I have no way to.
Do you wish to be represented by an attorney, sir?
I would like legal assistance.
What do you mean by that? Would you like to be
Well,
represented by?
I've called the
Well, Mr.
prosecutor.
McGough, we go through this every time. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to advise you that there are great perils in representing oneself. I've told you about that before on numerous occasions. That I would treat you the same as I would treat anybody else. You would have to know the Michigan court rules. You'd have to know courtroom procedure, and that you would be treated the same, not any more favorably, not any worse.
So I think what he's asking for, he wants to represent himself, but he wants it both ways is what he's asking for. He wants to have a lawyer there to ask questions to, but he also wants to represent himself, which you can't.
He wants to represent himself, but he needs a lawyer to kind of be his errand boy.
Yeah, I'm glad you worded it that way, because I was just about to say that. They want somebody to be their errand bitch.
Yep.
And it's like, we all watched, why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Darrell Brooks.
We all watched Darrell Brooks get stack charge on top of charge and then not be able to handle it. And then we saw that shit show over the month or so that he had his trial. He's got so many charges. He can't do this by himself. They have a hard enough time dealing with one speeding ticket.
Yeah.
Let alone a felony, a family court thing, and I believe it was this is the one where he was the DUI third, which bumped it up to a felony. I believe that's what it was. Call in for reinforcements, my guy. It's time to let the professionals handle this.
I was so surprised when he's like, "Oh, it's a DUI and it's 90 days in jail or 93 days in jail and $500 fine." I'm like, for putting the entire public's life at risk, it's 90 days in jail. That seems crazy to me. I think it should be way.
I told you that I forgot if it was 7 or 8, but he had 7 or 8 DUIs after, like, then he got arrested again.
Yeah.
He didn't have a license, didn't have anything, just kept driving.
Wow.
And they just never really did anything. And I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like at 7 or 8 DUIs, like, we've given you enough chances.
Yeah.
Like, just go to prison. You can stay there.
Chris Milkey for $10. Treats for the doggies. Manominee do 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 do. Manominee do 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 do.
I'll tell a quick story. I have a friend of mine who his older brother had 7 drunk driving charges, and on his 7th, and here in Michigan, they sent him to prison for years. I believe he did about 7 years. He was banned from a driver's license here in Michigan forever. He gets out and he's staying with a girlfriend he met in a trailer, and their grandmother dies. And this friend of mine goes to pick his brother up on the way to the funeral, and he comes out of the trailer with a 12-pack under his arm and an open beer. And my friend says to him, "You're not going to be drinking in my car, are you?" "Well, if you're going to have rules, I'm not going." About a month later, he died in a drunk driving accident.
Oh, no.
Fortunately, he didn't take anybody with him. It was a single car accident. He wrapped himself around a telephone pole, and that was the end of him. Some people just don't get it.
No, like I said, at 1, sure, you can come back from 1. You can change your ways and, speak out against drunk driving. But, like, at 7, like, we've given you enough chances. Like, what are we doing?
Unbelievable story.
This one's on your channel, so I'll let you read it.
Don't piss off. I'm assuming you mean Judge Simpson. Yeah. So I actually wanted to talk to you guys about this specifically because you were there. KTZed, I don't believe you caught this specific guy in court. The kid that came in with the backpack.
Yeah, I remember him.
There's so many people that come into Judge Simpson's court every day and try to, like, argue with Judge Simpson. This kid came in, I think they pushed his court date out another however many days or weeks, but he's like, "Can I say something?" And everybody's like, "Oh, great."
Oh, no, like, don't do it.
Somebody needs to get a cell phone, because I was trying to call you guys to tell you I was going to be late, and I couldn't reach anybody. And it seems like everybody just had a fun, good time talking about that with the guy sitting there.
Yeah. It was very funny.
Yeah, but then some people come in and they treat Judge Simpson like this is his first day on the bench, and they just get absolutely roasted. And it's just like, that's the difference of genuinely just being like, "Oh, this is court. I'm dealing with my shit, but I'm going to be funny about it. I'm going to be cool about it." Mm-hmm. And you get that back from Judge Simpson from what I've seen. If you're being cool, you're not trying to be an asshole. He seems like a pretty solid guy.
He even had a good sense of humor when that guy was literally in court for a suspended sentence and showed up to Zoom's court driving. He had such a good sense of humor about that. Some judges would flip the heck out.
Oh,
but he was laughing through the whole thing.
Oh, Judge Simpson, there were a lot of funny moments. The one attorney was eating an apple, and they were having an ongoing colloquy, and the whole court was laughing. I see Ed laughing too, because he remembers it.
Yeah. So I think it was at the end of this. I threw it at the beginning of my video as like an intro. I don't think I clipped it into this one, where the judge or the attorney that gets appointed for this guy like apologizes to Judge Simpson, and then they laugh for a second. I'm just like, yeah, that's a good time.
I will point out that by the time what happened here, this was a long docket. I got there at, I don't know, about 8:15 or something like that. Judge Simpson came in at about 9:30. I think this is about 12:30, maybe closer to 1 o'clock. We had been in there for hours. This was, Judge Simpson knew that this was going to be, a clown show. So he pushed it to the very end of his docket. And you didn't show it, you can see it on KFARR's channel, but when they bring him in, just before, he goes, all right, here we go. He knew.
I also wanted to point out, when you started watching the very beginning, when they started the stream, it was packed.
Oh, packed.
And then by the time that this happens, you can see in the video, there's like a lot of seats open now.
Right.
So I knew they were probably going to be sovereign citizen to the end.
And I can tell you, I was talking with Colin, and people kept coming in. And Colin told me, he said, I have seen this where so many people come in that they'll say, hey, how many of you people have nothing to do with any of these cases? And if you don't, he'll actually kick you out if he needs the space. And I was getting a little concerned that we might be removed, but fortunately there was enough room and we were allowed to stay.
Well, a lot of people were leaving today also because they were there for the prisoners, because every time they'd bring a prisoner in, walk them out, and the guy was always looking around to see who he could see and blow a kiss to or whatever. And like that lady behind us today that was so upset when the attorney stood in front of her and she couldn't see, she left after her son was in there. So a lot of those people not only were there for arraignments or PCCs or whatever, but there was probably, I'd say, a good 7 people left after they ran some prisoners through.
Yep, I agree with that. Absolutely. And we
Thank you
saw
so much
that
for the 5 gifted memberships. News Now Enemy. I appreciate the support. Pass out some milk bones and we'll get back to it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you had been done. My bad. I was trying to wait. Okay. And congratulations to the people who got the memberships. Were you saying something, Wixom? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was done. I was just agreeing with Bob. We saw a lot of that where they would bring the prisoner in, and then as they were taking him back to jail, he was, the prisoner was looking out and, throwing kisses and, love you.
I love you, Dookie. I'll see you when you get out, Dookie.
Yeah.
Exactly what it was.
These proceedings. If you wish to represent yourself, you may proceed with the court's admonishment. I've advised you as to the penalty, the charges, the maximum penalties. I will now ask you the question, and I'm not going to just keep going around and around in circles when I ask you this question. Do you wish to be represented by counsel? If you wish to be represented by counsel, this court will ensure that counsel is appointed to represent you. If that is a yes or no.
I would like legal assistance, yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to take that as your request for counsel, is how I'm going to take that. And so these 2 cases now become public defender cases.
See, wait a second.
Thank you, Judge Torshio Fisa, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of the defendant. I believe you're
Sorry, go ahead.
The way I took that is he was trying to get standby counsel.
Yeah.
Yep. But Judge Simpson was like trying to talk him into an attorney.
Yes.
And it looked like he was kind of like, I don't know, it was like forced upon him or something. It looked weird.
It did seem like that. And I don't know if Judge Simpson was just being obtuse. Like, I understood it to mean like he wanted standby counsel. And
right.
By the way, it is the judge's job to try to talk people out of representing themselves because it's a totally bad idea. So I understand that.
Well, when we go back on the 19th, the first thing's going to be up there is the attorney's going to say, I'm being fired. He doesn't want counsel. So that'll be the first thing that happens.
Yeah, I agree with that, Bob. And that went through my mind when Judge Simpson assigned this attorney. I believe his name is Feezer.
Yeah. He was the one that was out in the hallway eating his apple after he'd been sitting there all morning. Yeah. And they called the case and he was out there eating his apple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a lot of laughter in the courtroom over that. It was pretty funny. It really
You
was.
know, in 28 years in law enforcement, I have never, ever, ever had a judge that was as compassionate, as humorous, and as caring as Judge Simpson is. I mean,
Yeah.
you've heard the saying, sober as a judge. Every judge I ever had just sat up there stone faced. And this guy today, I mean, look at how many times we were laughing and carrying on, you know?
It really was. There were a lot of laughs in the courtroom. It was a good time. It really was.
I wonder if he was always like this or it developed when he knew he was going to start streaming his court cases.
I think he's just got a natural sense of humor. He's got so much charisma. He's just a delight. He really is.
All right, so I got two things real quick. So Solves Crimes and Good Times became a member. Thank you. And then Richard in the chat hit something that you guys were hitting on and that I was about to say. You guys are completely right. He's going to come to court just like all of the – I'm drawing a blank on his name. Is it Fanto in Taylor, the public defender that's like for everyone? Yeah. Every single time he comes back and he's like, well, there's been a breakdown, in the client-attorney relationship because he's wanting me to file things that I like legally can't without getting in trouble.
Right.
That's what's going to happen. He's going to want to file 15 different things that legally make absolutely zero sense for his case. He's going to get upset and be like, oh, you're part of the conspiracy to get me in prison.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be back at square one.
I agree with you, KFARR. That's probably, if I had a crystal ball and I looked into it, that's what I would see. I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
I have a question. Did he write?
This attorney is an officer of the court. He cannot file these frivolous, motions. He has to follow the law, and that's where the rift is gonna happen.
Are you trying to say did he write it?
Did he write this, or did he hire somebody to write this 60-page doc? Because I've never seen 60 pages is excessive for this type of legal document.
I'm going to tell you what probably happened.
ChatGPT
probably was a very large contributing factor. This started a while ago with frauditors and sovereign citizens. They use ChatGPT to do all of this stuff, but then they tell them exactly what to say, SovCit wise, to get around the law.
Gotcha.
So it always kind of reads a little hinky. I believe that's kind of what hemmed up Eric Martin in.
Look at this.
Oh God, was it Judge Washington? A while ago when he was facing something, he gave them a bunch of. Yeah. He gave them, or he submitted as evidence a bunch of Supreme Court decisions, and then they came back the next hearing, and the prosecutor was like, "Yeah, none of these are applicable, and not only are none of them applicable to your case, some of them don't even exist." Which is
ChatGPT made them up.
Yeah, ChatGPT didn't graduate law school, so here we are.
And that has happened.
All right, so let's continue with this nonsense. Let me rewind it just a little bit so we don't miss anything.
These two cases now become public defenders.
Thank you, Judge Torshio Fisa, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of the defendant. I believe Your Honor has already agreed to set it for examination.
He's asked for examination in the case, and so I will set these for preliminary examination.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would ask, given that one of these cases, in regards to the March 27, 2024 case, there is an undue delay. It's been over, I think, 390 some days since the warrant was requested, and this triggers due process violations under U.S. versus Levasco, People versus Bassard, People versus Rosengreen, and procedural unfairness, Sixth Amendment violations, and I do request that the prosecutor provide provide information in regards to the three-pronged test under People versus Hernandez. One of them, first test being the explanation for the undue delay for 390 some days. The second part of that test being to prove that the delay was not deliberate. And then the third part of the delay or the prong test is to make sure that there was no undue burden on or prejudice on the defendant. And in that regards, Your Honor, I also am requesting that I do have due process 14th Amendment rights as well as 8th Amendment rights. And a lot of these are facially invalid. A lot of these charges are facially invalid. And I'm just requesting that the court grant a personal reconnaissance on my behalf. And for both of these charges, being that we're looking at really just misdemeanors, $500 misdemeanors.
So he's like, oh, they took too long, so you should just let me go. Release me on my own recognizance.
Well, I mentioned this in my video. If you're the reason your case is taking forever to be heard, it's not the court's fault, or that would be like the easiest loophole ever. Well, if I just run for long enough, I'll just run out of speedy trial days, and then they'll just have to dismiss it. Womp womp. Sorry. I guess I get away with murder.
So Wixom is buying us all around, guys. Thank you, Wixom. Appreciate that. Cheers.
Hey, Wixom bought lunch today too.
Wow.
I did. And it was an excellent lunch. We went to this Mexican restaurant in Old Town in Ypsilanti. And, you know, I went to college at Eastern Michigan University. That's my alma mater.
Cheers.
So, you know, I'm pretty familiar with the town. But this Mexican restaurant was just awesome, I thought.
Really. Well, yeah, that's why we took you there.
Yeah, it was good. Really good.
I was sent a photo, and it does look like you guys had a good time.
We did.
Colin, he was going to join us, but this docket ran so late. He said he wanted to get back so he could do his live stream. So he didn't join us, but he missed a heck of a meal. He really did.
More for us.
Yeah.
More chips and salsa for you guys, huh?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Actually, more
He's
margaritas.
requesting, Your Honor, his bond, and he's requesting the release, Your Honor, PR bond.
A response
No.
from the people regarding his bond.
Failed to appear before Judge Lane.
Yes.
With respect to the other, I'll wait. If there are pleadings filed by the respond to that. And I guess my one remaining point would be, should with the court's appointment in Eastern Public Defender's Office, I will make sure that the digital discovery that I referenced is certified by the Defender's Office.
Yes.
Thank you, Judge. We will review that with our client once we receive it.
So he's asked for a preliminary examination, and I realize where this may be. My understanding is that he is still held, regardless of what the bond would, in this case, he's being held without bond in Judge Slay's case.
That's my understanding.
That his bond has been denied, so.
That's what I'm-
element, but I would, in any event.
Denied, Judge Simpson says. Absolutely not. Go away.
Oh, wow.
Gavel.
Waffle salter.
Thank you.
I haven't even finished the last one I drank.
Waffle salter.
Good Lord.
You are the best. That's
Does
my
that mean-
ruling.
Does that mean we have to drink 2.5?
No, you
I
don't
didn't want
have to drink anything. I'm drinking 8, like just filling up the bottom of the cup is what
I'm not. I'm drinking full shots, and I'm getting a hell of a
That's-
buzz.
I did that the first time we did this show, and it was a mistake, and I haven't done it since. And
Oh boy.
just letting everybody know.
Yeah. So because I did the video on this earlier. If you ran from a felony warrant or a failure to appear warrant on a felony case, why would they let you go? Like, you've already proven you aren't going to show up.
Exactly.
You happen to be a flight risk.
Yeah,
Go
like-
figure.
Exactly. You know, he's already being held without bond for failure to appear in circuit court in 22nd Circuit Court. And then he's standing there for fleeing and eluding, you know, running from the police and then trying to escape custody. And you want a PR bond? I don't think so. Ain't going to happen.
Okay.
I spilled some alcohol, so I needed to get a napkin. So we're good now.
Okay. No alcohol abuse on the show.
Yeah, I almost.
But also given the fact that
You're ready for the next one?
Yeah, always ready.
one of the charges is the escape from lawful custody, that in and of itself, in this court's mind, makes the defendant a danger for a risk of flight. Also, the nature of the charges, the fleeing and eluding police officers, as well as the operating while intoxicated, now at least alleged his third time around. Also, this court's mind, the defendant, this court would consider a danger to the public. So the extent that he is asking that I modify his bond conditions in his bond in this case,
I have,
that motion is denied. Bond will continue as it is.
Your Honor, I have a 14th Amendment due process to the presumption of innocence. And,
I understand the presumption of innocence.
and a lot of these are facially invalid, Your Honor.
Excuse me?
A lot of these charges, especially the lawful custody, escape from lawful custody, it's facially invalid. I was at a hospital, not a jail.
If you were under the custody of the Washtenaw County.
Who are these
Sheriff,
random people showing up on the Zoom call? Is their court is in the afternoon, I guess?
Can you guys see the screen while you're in court? Can you see any of this?
Yes,
Oh,
we
yeah.
can. It's probably about a 50-inch roughly screen.
Okay.
It is behind Judge Simpson. If you look at Simpson and then over to the left, we can see it, but it's far enough away and broken up into multiple windows that it's pretty hard to get any details. But yes, we
Okay.
can see it.
So did you guys see he was there a majority of the morning? He was the guy that was sitting outside and then just kept getting up and walking around. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but there was a guy that was literally there. Is Ed trying to talk? Is Ed muted?
Not anymore.
Okay.
Tell my dog a treat.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot what the guy's name was, but he was there all morning. And it was like him and Simpson were co-streaming. But he wasn't saying anything. He was sitting outside. He was doing some of these out like on his lawn chair. And then he'd get up and walk around, and then he'd come back.
Then when it was his turn, he wasn't there. He had to get a candy bar, so they passed it to the afternoon.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Good. Oh boy.
Not.
As I understand,
I was not.
custody of.
I was dropped off at the hospital, and they later tacked on
And
charges
you know
just
what?
like the fleeing
there you
and
go.
eluding charge.
Not meet that out, and that if that's true,
Dustin
and
Duncan.
the people can't sustain that element, then the charge would be dismissed. But I'm not dismissing it upon your representation today.
Thank you very much, Judge.
Preliminary examination in this matter will be set August 19th, 2025, 12 noon. That is before me on that date.
I want to say that I was so happy. Colin was sitting right next to me, and when he said 12 noon, I said to Colin, yes, because
You can sleep.
I will definitely be there, because we all had, Bob and I especially were major night owls. I mean, I normally go to bed at, 3 or 4 in the morning, and I get up at noon. Well, we had to be there, his docket started at 9 o'clock, and it's a 40-minute drive for me. This was brutal. I went on 3 hours sleep. And so I want to attend his next hearing. And I was just so happy when he said, it's at noon. Great.
Well, this is kind of why I stopped streaming them live, because I've tried to do Eric Martin before, and I've tried to do Broken System, Broken Trust before, and they would schedule them for like 9 o'clock in the morning. So go to bed at like 5, wake up at like 7, get everything ready for the stream. And then because they're sovereign citizens, they would kick them to like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'd have to sit there for like 6 hours just trying to keep myself alive.
Yeah, right.
And then I'm like, I'll just make a video. I'm not live streaming this ever again.
But I will say this, when McGough has his jury trial on January 5th of next year, it's at 8:30 in the morning. It's actually a little earlier. I'll probably just go down into Ann Arbor and grab a hotel. I am going to be there. I may not have slept, but I'm going to be there for that shit show.
Yeah, and that's not going to be streamed either. That's going to be like
right. So circuit court doesn't stream, so but I will be there live to watch it.
You and me both.
Yeah.
For both of these cases. I will apprise the parties also that one of the, I will call it one of the activities, and I think it is a maneuver to have the court do something that it normally would not do. The defendant has elected, and I will disclose it, to file a civil claim as against me and a slew of other parties.
Oh yeah, in that regard, Your Honor,
many of those. Do not interrupt me.
Do you see this guy picking his nose?
Are you talking
What's
about
happening here?
Jeremy Mazza?
Yes, he's just he's using his phone as the mirror and picking his nose with his thumb.
So it's bad because this guy, when they go to break, they leave the stream up. So it's just that guy just sitting there alone.
And this woman's like cleaning her very scattered house. It's got a lot of clutter in it. She's just cleaning and he's picking his nose.
People don't realize that they probably don't know who McGough is, but because they just happen to be in the frame with McGough, I covered it, Colin covered it, Old Squishy Gardner covered it, Mike covered it. There's probably 12 other court channels. Hundreds of thousands of people are going to watch this guy pick his nose.
Pick his nose.
But he doesn't know
Here's
that.
the thing. I've noticed, and I don't know if it's just because we do this several times a week, but even in like once a week or once every 2 weeks or something like that, we have a company, like a whole company is on a Zoom meeting or it's a Teams meeting or whatever. And people are just on camera. Like
people don't know how to act.
Yeah.
They lose their goddamn mind as soon as the camera comes on.
There is you could turn your camera off. Like if you what are you doing?
Like when I was when I jump in to be a quiet observer in the Chris Ryder Zoom hearings in Kentucky, I sit there with my camera off. I don't even load in a microphone. That way I don't accidentally talk.
Yeah.
Chris's attorney acts like he's never been to court on Zoom before. My man showed up to court laying in the doctor's office with a damn, I'm not having a good day, Judge. And it's just like, is it your first time, Thomas Clay? What are you doing?
Yeah, and these it never used to be a problem when we have a new person that's higher up in our company that made it mandatory for people to have their cameras on unless if somebody comes into your office or something, you turn it off for a minute. But now that everybody has to have their cameras on in these stupid meetings, people are just picking their nose, yelling at their kids because it's on Fridays where a lot of people work from home. It's crazy. All right, back to the case. Sorry, I got distracted by this guy picking his nose.
Pretty good breeze. You can see Colin. Oh, never mind.
Sorry, what's that?
Well, I was just going to say where you were frozen. If you go back just a tad, you could see the whole row of us was pretty good. You see Colin pretty clearly.
Oh yeah,
right there. Right there. You see Ed and there's Colin.
This judge upon receiving this. Two things.
This girl
I
just
read
started.
through
She
the
just lit a
complaint to
cigarette.
determine whether
She
or
sure
not
did.
to put on its space, create a
Sandra.
court. I consider it quite
Her name happens to be Sandra Law.
I was going to
Sandra
bring that
Law.
up.
What
Is
do you
she an
do?
attorney? Is she an attorney, or is her last name just Law?
I'm hoping that her last name just happens to be Law.
I guess we'll never know.
two things. I read through the complaint to determine whether or not it put on its face, create a conflict of court.
My man's
I
getting
consider
everything
it,
out of
quite
his
frankly,
nose.
to be frivolous.
Jesus.
Complaint itself. Do not see that
I'm
as
gonna
a
find him on
necessity for
Facebook and be like,
me to
"You were picking your nose on
myself from
stream,
this
bro."
gentleman's proceedings, because I think that
Just send him a link to this stream. Just send him the link.
complaint itself, do not see that as a necessity for me to recuse myself from this gentleman's proceedings, because I think that's precisely what he wants to have happen, and that is attempting to manipulate the system. He will be dealt with by me as I deal with any other defendant, and so that is there. It has been turned over to the Office of General Counsel for Washtenaw County. They will deal with, for me, and as well as the others that I see that are listed there, they will deal with that. They have also filed, it appears, and again, this is all part of his, what I will call shenanigans to shape this. He has filed against people of
Shenanigans.
individuals without specific reference in the Washtenaw County Prosecutor's Office. I don't, as I view what I read, would not consider that any jeopardy upon their objectivity in handling this case. So
I'm aware that such filings were received by our office maybe yesterday. At this point, we continue to proceed with this case until I hear otherwise from the elected prosecutor.
Can I speak on that note, Your Honor?
I will let you talk, but I'm not going to let you go on in some diatribe. I've got other things to do.
I've stood on my rights.
Let-
and I've stood on
I
my
wish,
beliefs.
see, this is the part that I wish Judge Simpson would have just let him talk. Just, Judge Simpson,
Get
I
it out of
know
your
that
system.
I know it's lunchtime, Judge Simpson.
Oh,
I know it's right
past
before lunch,
lunchtime.
but
It's like 1 o'clock by this point. It's been going for hours.
Judge Simpson, don't you know that it's going to be on booze and body cams later, and whatever comes out of his mouth is going to be very entertaining for us, the people. Work for the
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
It's almost like he doesn't care
One
about
time,
Katie.
especially in the previous case. Your Honor.
It's almost like he does not give one single rat's ass about it.
So, I wish Judge Simpson would bring me in and just be like, tell me where my audio is garbage. Because the prosecutor table has the worst microphone in human history.
Oh yeah,
Where I cannot hear anything.
That guy
they're saying.
you're hearing is not at the table. He's like
You
way
can't-
over at the wall.
You can't hear it in the courtroom either.
Oh, yeah. I was just to add to what Bob just said. The audio in the courtroom was absolutely horrible. It was very hard to hear. I'm sure Ed is going to agree with that, and Bob's going to agree with that. They could really use an audio upgrade. Absolutely. I don't think Colin heard a thing.
I felt bad for him because I asked him, I said, do you know what's going on? He said, no, not really. I said, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you'll watch it on YouTube later.
That's when
Actually, when I got back, the first thing I did was I watched your video, KFARR, so that I could get the full story.
And like I said, I got it. I jacked it up 200%, and I'm like, it's still quiet. And then I'm like, I asked Mrs. KFARR, I'm like, am I just getting more deaf? Like,
no, it's just.
You'll see me sometimes if you look, closely. I'm in the blue shirt there. I'm leaning forward. My best ear is my right ear, so I'm kind of trying to hear what's going on. It's hard to hear. It really is.
Yeah, you can hear Simpson just fine, and you can actually hear the prosecution and the defense tables if they're there. But that guy you're hearing is like way off to the side in the jury box. It's
Yeah.
All right.
and the podium. You can't hear the podium either.
I will let you talk,
Good.
but I'm not going to let you go on in some diatribe. I've got other things to do.
I've stood on my rights and I've stood on my beliefs this whole entire time, especially in the previous case, Your Honor.
Yeah,
That
Magoo, it's
complaint was
working out so
pleaded.
well for you so far.
Yeah. I stood on my rights and my feelings. Cool.
It's
The law
just
does
been
not care
working
about your feelings.
perfectly.
It does affect multiple parties of this jurisdiction. Washtenaw County is a named party, and I do believe that my impartiality and bias will be affected here, as it was in the past before this complaint. And I do request a change of venue on that note for both these matters.
If you wish to raise change of venue, you may file that in writing, but to the extent you are raising no motion for change of venue is denied.
Thank you very much, Judge.
Bond will continue. Thank you.
Somebody will continue.
Look at that haircut.
I mean, it's like a muskrat was sewn to his head or something. It looked ridiculous. It just ridiculous.
Robert.
I tell you, I really, and I said this to Colin, not today, but
For
probably
the
a week
written
ago.
date, search warrant
I really
application.
questioned his competency.
All right.
He's not all
Didn't-
there.
Didn't he have a competency evaluation
Yeah, that's what Colin told
when
me.
he
I
got
don't.
picked up?
Yeah, he did, and Colin told me that he actually passed it. But
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's probably not his first competency evaluation.
yeah,
So he probably, like, hey, I gotta sit, a little straight. I gotta say this, and this, and then I can go about my way.
I do enjoy Judge Simpson laughing at the situation at the end. Like every time he gets a sovereign citizen or somebody trying to defend themselves, he enjoys it.
oh, I'll
So,
tell you,
Yeah.
if you're close enough and you ever get a chance, it's a delight to be there in the courtroom. He is funny. He keeps it light. He's just a joy to watch. He really is.
I'd like to go sit on Middleton as well, Judge Middleton.
Yeah, we would like.
Yeah.
I would like to go to Middleton too. Maybe Bob and I will.
And
We'll
then
get
there's that
together
one
and
in
head out that way sometime.
there's one I think it's Houston. I forget the judge's name, but
Oh,
he
he
seems
doesn't
fun to
stream
sit in on as
anymore.
well. Oh, he doesn't? You know who I'm talking about though? He
Yeah,
always wears
Fleischer.
like bow ties.
Fleischer.
Yes, Fleischer.
Fleischer.
Yep.
Hey, KFARR, you'll understand this. They must be somewhat comfortable with numbnuts today, because when they brought him in, there was only one officer with him. Even though he's fought with officers or whatever, they brought another gentleman in earlier.
I don't want to say they're probably more comfortable, but I feel like he probably knows that if he fights now, he's definitely not going anywhere. If that makes sense.
Well, the guy earlier obviously didn't know that, because he came in with an attitude, and he was leaning all over the podium and clanking his handcuffs, and every time he'd take a move, one deputy or another was stepping right next to him. So they had 3 to walk him in, 3 to walk him out.
Yep.
But they didn't do that with McGough.
Yep.
Cheers, waffle salter, peach impediment. Cheers.
Cheers. Like I need this.
I mean, keep in mind, everybody on our panel tonight doesn't do this twice a week like KFARR and I do, or actually like 5 times a week like KFARR and I are doing this week.
It's probably been a month since I was on your panel, something like that. Eric Martin, whenever that was.
Yeah.
All right, just so everybody knows, I just drank the rest of it, so I need more for tomorrow.
Did you find any at Costco?
No, we ended up not going to Costco.
Oh.
We went to every other store in my area, just not Costco. We do this thing where we'll drive past Costco And if the
Mhm.
parking lot looks too full, I don't particularly enjoy people. So I'm like, we'll go another day.
Understandable.
Well, at least you can buy liquor down in you guys' neck of the woods up here in Livonia. They don't let Costco sell liquor.
Oh, yeah. I bought mine at the Kroger has like a liquor section where you have the regular Kroger and then there's like a hole in the wall and you go in there and it's all liquor and you have to buy your stuff in there and then they put it in your paper bag like you're gonna go drink out on the sidewalk and then you just
it's a real liquor store.
No
not
grocery
Yeah.
stores.
convenient.
All we have here are real liquor stores. No, you can't buy alcohol. You can buy beer, like that sort of
Mhm.
stuff at the grocery store, but no like alcohol. Like I couldn't
So-
go into a Kroger and buy this.
I have like 3 Krogers near me. One has it like the liquor store that's in it. The other one sells like, beer, hard seltzer, shit like that. And the
Mhm.
other one doesn't have liquor. It has like a few things, but right in front of the building, there's a gigantic liquor store. So I would just go there anyway.
Oh. Yeah.
They're probably like, now we don't need one.
So anything else on the agenda tonight?
That is it. That is it for today. Shane
That's
is
the show.
live. Yeah, Shane
I
is
actually
live
am
right now.
directing my
Same.
audience. If you stick around, both anybody who can hear my voice right now, unless you're on like Rumble or Facebook, anybody on YouTube that can hear my voice right now, you will be directed to Shane's Dumb Criminals, and please tell them all we said hello. He's doing a show like we normally do on Booze and Body Cams, where he's laughing at dumb criminals getting tased by police. I assume. So hang out. I'll jump in the chat over there here in a minute too and say hi to you all, but tell Shane that we said hello. Any last words from our guests, Ed, Wixom, or Bob?
Yeah, we were at lunch today, and Brutal Bob started to tell a story. He started it with back in my day. And I didn't hear anything he said after that because it was like, is that where KFARR got it from?
Did he give you one of these?
Back in my day.
I'll tell you guys this: Brutal Bob is one of the most interesting people I've ever met in my life.
Oh, please.
Oh, please not.
The first time I talked to him, I stood on the side of the road in my neighborhood, talked to him for like an hour.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you a story. When we were at the Eric Martin trial,
Oh, God.
we're in the courtroom, and he had the bailiffs. I mean, Judge Shackelford comes in after a recess, and he starts engaging with Judge Shackelford. He's talking with the whole courtroom. I thought the only person holding court here is Brutal Bob. He was holding court. It was hilarious.
Well, then I guess I was a good boy today because all I talked to were deputies.
Yep. You talked to deputy and that one cop, or he was a detective, I think he was.
Yeah. Oh, KFARR, you'll love this. Nahla and I got there actually second. Brenda was there first. So we're walking in and it's like 8:02. And there's like 4 deputies sitting there and we said hi to all of them and got talking. And this one deputy, I'm not going to say his name, but he was a really nice guy. And I looked at his name and I said, holy cow. I says, I was a cop at such and such. And I said, I worked in the DEA task force for years. I said, I arrested a guy with your same last name. And he says, well, how'd that come about? And I said, well, I followed him from the city where I worked back over to Detroit after he made a delivery of a bunch of drugs. And turned out that it was one of his relatives that we'd arrested. And got the guy 15 years in prison on top of it.
He's going to take that story back to Thanksgiving dinner. Be like, hey, guess who I ran into at court?
Yeah, when we were leaving, Wixom had gone out first, and Nahla and I and Brenda were walking out, and he come out and shook my hand and says, man, he says, that was pretty good. He says, I had 2 of them that were involved in that business, and you put one of them out of it. I was like, oh, God.
I remember that.
Okay, we will be back tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern for a regular Booze and Body Cam show. We've had a lot of unusual or
Back to your
irregular.
regularly scheduled programming.
Yes. Back to your regularly scheduled programming tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Until then, bye guys.
Bye.
Thanks for having my boring self up there.
Thanks for inviting.
See, you gotta look forward cause the salt is back. Swear to God I'm at the cul-de-sac. Yeah, used to rub the lamps in my sultan's hat. And now it's all back to this cul-de-sac. Don't know what's ahead but you can't look back. Lot's wife is just salty Jack. You got them handshake deals in perfect packs. Yeah, gotta fall back to the cul-de-sac. Just step right side, step right back. Step forward twice, kick your shoulders